Hello everyone, how's it going? Everybody well this Wednesday afternoon in the UK? Things have been absolutely wild here today. Do you know that way I just kind of like, I just need a minute. I would like to know how the sound is, please, because I've been fiddling about with my microphone and I should probably just leave it alone. Is it really quiet? Is it really loud? And or does it sound crisp? I would like to know this information, please. Hello, hello, Touch of Sparkle. How are you? Hi, Dominique's here too. Hello, Dominique. How are you? Sounds good. I did notice that when I was watching back some of the last stream, the audio sounds really muddy, and I was hoping that by fiddling about with what I fiddled about with it, it would be a bit crisper. It's quiet, but it's clear. Okay, right, let me just ramp this up a bit. Right, how's that? Is that better? Is that louder? This is why we shouldn't fiddle with settings. I don't want to make like big loud noises in case it's ridiculous. But I want to get this right. I want it to be right. Better, perfect, yay, okay, right. So if I get really excited and I end up shouting and I'm deafening you, please let me know. It's all good in the mood. Yeah, I'm just having one of those days today where since I opened my eyes this morning, it's just been like task after task after task, and I really haven't had any breathing space at all today. The good news I do have today is that my little dog is finally out of her bodysuit and she has her staples removed, so she is a very happy little camper indeed, and I am also a happy camper. This is what we need in life. Here's the other one. Clomp, clomp, clomp. Hello, Jock. Are you all right? He's the goodest boy. He is the goodest boy. Yeah, so, yes, Pip is free. Oh, what's wrong? What are you making squeaky noises for? Are you okay? He's absolutely roasting. Have you been lying next to the heater? The goodest boy. Okay, so today I don't actually have a plan, which is quite unlike me, as most of you will know. I'm waiting on a parcel arriving and I'm kind of hoping that Mr. Jem is going to bring it to me. It's a little scrapbooking sticker set, and I don't know whether you wanted to maybe have a wee flick through that. But I've also got the Hannah Carlson Christmas colouring book that we started in the last stream on the Sunday. How do we feel about continuing with that? Or if anybody's got any other suggestions, then I'm quite open this afternoon. We've only got 2 hours though. But if anybody wants to see anything else, that noise was Jock chucking himself down on the floor. So dramatic. If anybody wants to see anything else, then I am happy to accommodate within the time scale that we have. I've also got my Christmas scatter out as well. I'll show you this. I don't know whether you think it's too soon for this, but I've got my sparkles. They kind of mess with the camera lighting though. Thea is fine with whatever, easily pleased. We do that. How's that? Whoa. Pretty, pretty. And the only thing is, I think these might get stuck to my to the back of my colouring book if that's what we're doing. I've got lots of these that are stuck together as well. Look. Oh. Ooh. Chat's very quiet today. Very, very quiet. Okay, well, if there's no general consensus, then I suppose we can do a little bit of festive colouring. I don't see why not. I'm going to have to, like, move these out the way. Maybe we can just have them round the outside. Because the other thing that happens is that when I lean over, if I get a bit of boobage on the table, then these are going to they're going to stick to my boobs. Okay, right, okay, that's fine. Dominique says she would choose the colouring book too. Okay, let's do that then. So if I can just have this on the periphery, we can feel a wee bit festive then, can't we? We are here for your wonderful personality and the great artist is a bonus. Well, thank you, Lisa. That's very kind of you to say. Okay, well, since the last stream then, let me just pull this out a little bit. Oh, there we go. You can see all the sparkles now. I have finished the candy canes with the exception of this little bow here. So the first thing that I want to ask is colour suggestions for the ribbon. I kind of wanted to go with red, but I think it's just going to be too much red with the berries. So maybe we could pick another colour, and then we could maybe incorporate that as the first colour into some of these other little sweet treats that we've got. Just a thought. So yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think we'll do. I have two beverages today. I have this monster here, and this is some sort of peach and something juice. Teal, good shout, Dominique. I like your thinking. Yes. I'm trying to drink this because I went out for a run earlier and hydration and all that stuff. And I do get exercise induced. That'll be Mr. Jem, hopefully with my parcel. I do get...
Actually, 2 parcels in the last year.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I do get exercise induced headaches from dehydration, so it's important that I do that. So we're going to be on with that. Chuck's just standing at the door, I don't know if you can see him or not. He's moved. You just see his ears over the top of the table. He's just standing at the door because he's heard Mr. Jem coming. It's funny. Elise says maybe a green in between the two greens already there, mid-green. Okay, I think I kind of like the teal idea. Like I'm quite partial to a bit of teal. But I also have this, which is quite exciting. I'm gearing up for the charity stream on Sunday, and I'm aware that it's going to be a long stream, and obviously it's for charity. There's going to be drinking involved. I need to be able to go the distance, and I've dropped a substantial amount of weight since the last time I did something like this, and my alcohol tolerance isn't the same. So I figured that I need to exercise my drinking muscle over the next few days and get like limbered up for it. That is my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But also because I've been for a run this morning, which was a terrible idea, by the way. I thought I would go for it. I've got this bottle opener, and it says Run Done Beer now. I've had this for a long time because I used to be a really big beer drinker, and I love that it's pertinent. Again, I'm very happy that that's a thing. So I will be alternating between this lovely Inches and medium apple cider and my weird peach juice. So we're going to like double it up today. It smells nice. It's very appley, like it's more appley than cidery, if that makes sense. But yeah. Elise says, I really noticed today how much weight you've lost in your face. You're looking good. Thank you. I think it's starting to come off my face now. I've still got like, you know, like this bit here, but that'll go in time because the weight that I'm at, like if I drop another, like, I don't know, couple of kilos, I don't know, pounds, whatever, this is where it will start to disappear. I saw some of my family, so it's like Mr. Jem's side, last weekend, and they haven't seen me for a long time, and specifically my mother-in-law hasn't seen me since Mr. Jem wasn't well last Christmas, and that was when I was at my heaviest. And she's one of these people that she, like, there's no sort of like airs or graces or anything, and she just like, she hugged me and then she pushed me back and she looked me up and down and she's like, you've lost tons of weight. And I said to her, I said, yes I have, thank you very much. She's like, you look really, really good. I was like, well, thank you. That's really nice of you to say. So there's no like malice or anything behind it, but her and I have conversations about it quite a lot because she's struggled with her weight as well. She's very trim now. She looks fantastic, like she really does. But she's had to like persevere to kind of like get it under control. So we kind of sing off the same hymn sheet, you know. And a lot of it is psychological rather than having anything physically wrong with you, you know, to struggle with your weight. So anyway, let's rejig things a wee bit. There we go, that's better. You don't need to look at my face all this time. Hello Daria, how are you? Just checking in for a wee bit. May have to watch later, but have a great stream. Thank you. That was very nice of you to stick your head in at this juncture. I'm happy to see you. I've been thinking about you a lot because I've been doing a lot of colouring. Thea says at least they noticed when I lost about 40 kilos, nobody said a word. I think things are really different now. I have lost a lot of weight once before, and it was after I had my ovarian surgery, which was years ago now. And I just think that people now, you know, it's not the done thing to comment on people's appearance. It's not polite anymore. And I think that, I mean, the number of people that I haven't seen for a long time and they've not batted an eyelid, and it's very clear now that I've lost weight. There was a wee while where I had lost, you know, quite a bit and it wasn't really that noticeable, but you can't not notice it now. And, you know, no one ever says anything, and half of you's like, well, that's very polite, and then the other half of you's like, God's sake, I've worked really hard and nobody's noticed. But anyway, I'm not doing it to get, you know, people to say things. I'm doing it for my health and to get back to being a good runner again. Right, let's get the swatch book out. Hello Jan, I saw you slinking in there. Are you actually here? Is that a thing, or are you not here? Because I know sometimes you're not here. Right, we're in Polychromos, so we're here. So what about, how do we feel about the Helio Turquoise then? And it gives me an excuse to use my dark indigo pencil just because I really like it. I'm also quite hoarse today. I don't really know what's going on with that. Right, okay. Helio Turquoise, where are you? You'll also be pleased to know as well that I found my missing Polychromos pencils. It was kind of bugging me the week past on Sunday, and they were in my actual pencil case, like my normal sketching pencil case. I have got no idea why I put them in there. I can't even remember why I did. But anyway, that's where they were, and they're all present and accounted for, which is great. Right, the other thing that I've got here as well is I've managed to get the chat window up for YouTube in OBS, so I can actually shut this one down over here, and I can see what's going on in the chat here, so I don't have to be around here anymore. I can just look here. Okay, Elise isn't here. And Jan is also not here. Okay, good to know. So we've got Helio Turquoise, and here is my dark indigo. Oh, chucking pencils about everywhere. My dark indigo, one of my special pencils with the not painted end. I've got an Inktense pencil that's like this as well. It's weird. Really, really strange. Right, so I think that's a good place to start. So let's get this here. I had this wee bit of tracing paper just to put under my hand because we've got these black outlines. This gets quite smudgy, so it's just to pop underneath my hand to basically stop me making a mess. So I'm quite good at that, you know. So let's get zoomed in. And I mean, you can't see the sparkles now, can't see Christmas sparkles, but sacrifices. So maybe about there, that'd be good, yeah. And let's make a wee start here and see where we're going for this. So the stuff for Cavemas is in full swing. I'm nearly finished filming everything that needs to be filmed, which is nice. Not enjoying the editing part, unsurprisingly. But I'm getting through it. But I've got so much going on just now, and I'm just like wall to wall every day. I didn't sit down at all yesterday, apart from to eat dinner, and even then I sat down for about 15 minutes. So, but I'm just kind of like needing to get through everything. I'm finishing up my proper job on Friday, which is real nice. I'm hoping to be finished at 2 o'clock, and that is me until the I want to say the 6th of January. Does that sound right? A Monday? So once I'm done with that, that eases things off substantially, because obviously my proper job takes up a substantial chunk of my day. So that's pretty good. Mr. Jem is also away shooting again this weekend with some of his buddies. So he's leaving on Friday night and he's not coming back till Sunday during the day. So I've got myself to worry about. Well, myself and the dogs to worry about, which is really nice as well. So that'll let me get all my ducks in a row and just kind of get things tidied up. And hopefully I can get a wee bit of time to myself on Saturday night before we crank up on Sunday for our live stream. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous. It's not just the drinking thing though, it's also the fact that I'll be using a setup, because I'm going to have to move cameras about a bit because we're working with something 3D, where, you know, we're working with the Lego bricks. So I'm working on a different setup. It's not my normal content, and then we're flinging in alcohol just for, you know, for giggles. So I am a wee bit nervy about it, but it's for a good cause. We'll have a good time. We always do in these streams. And you know what it's like, I normally end up with a full-on fit of the giggles. So looking forward to that too, because that's one of my favourite things. Hello Marilise and Nye. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Elise is looking forward to the live at the weekend. I've got no idea how it's going to go. Like, I really don't. I've never really questioned my Lego building ability until this point. So we'll see how it goes. I just hope that people don't come into the stream expecting this, like, you know, professional Lego builder that's going to be very efficient, because that's not the way it works for me, especially having a dodgy hand. But we're making that part of the fun and part of the donations and also the drinking. So it should be a good laugh. We should have a good time. Just trying to build up some nice layers here. There's a kind of funny bit in the paper there, but I think I've gotten over it. It's like a little flaw in the paper. But I just want to get some nice rich colour, so trying to use light layers here and, you know, build them up. I might even leave that wee white edge there because that looks quite cute. And saying that, my light source is coming from that way, so that makes 0 sense. Good job, well done. Never mind. Never mind. This is such a pretty colour as well, I like it. Okay, so maybe we would have a lighter edge up there. We can make that better as well by using our indigo pencil as well. Yeah, that's looking quite nice, isn't it? That's such a pretty colour. There is no judgment here for anything or ever. We just want to spend time with you. I have to say, we've got quite a non-judgy little community here, which is nice. I just feel that, you know, we tend to do the same sort of things at Christmas and the same sorts of videos. And it's always nice to have that one curveball in there. And adding that danger element when it comes to doing a charity stream just makes it so much more fun. So, you know, that was kind of my reasoning behind it and why I thought it would be a good idea. But obviously it was you guys that suggested the Lego in the first place, which is fine by me. It's all like, all good. Jan's been watching Lego Masters. It's going to be like that, isn't it? No, definitely not going to be like that. I did manage to snag myself a wee bargain, and originally Mr. Jem had said to me, don't buy any Lego at this time of year because you may or may not get some for Christmas. And I'm like, that's fine. I always get myself something in the Insiders weekend, which is, it's usually just before Black Friday, and I did pick up a couple of bits and pieces and used some of my Lego points, which gives you money off essentially. So I was kind of set, and I mean, I've got lots of sets to build, and there is big sets, so I had no intentions of buying any more Lego. And I was sitting minding my own beeswax one night, and Mr. Jem was outside. He was working late, and I got a Facebook Messenger message from him, And I'm like, why is he sending me something on Facebook Messenger? Why isn't he phoning me or just texting me, because that's what he normally does? And I opened it up and it was a Facebook Marketplace link, which is why I'd sent it on Facebook Messenger. And a gentleman in Aberdeen was selling 2 of the retired modular buildings that I've been looking for ages. And he just said, are these good prices? And these prices were bargain prices. The retired sets, that, you know, meaning that they're not in circulation anymore, you can't buy them in the Lego store. And the older they are, the rarer they are, especially in, you know, complete in their entirety with boxes and instructions and things like that. And this gentleman had these 2 sets, and I was like, I can't not do this. I'm gonna have to do it. So Mr. Jem essentially kind of like screwed it up for himself because it was his fault. So I have these sets in my possession, which reminds me I need to message the guy and tell him that they got here in one piece. So yeah, but I'm really, really pleased. One of them is the bookshop, and I've wanted the bookshop for ages because I like books, I like to read. So I was so pleased to be able to get that at a really reasonable price, because some of the prices are just absolutely bonkers. One of the oldest sets was Cafe Corner, so that was one of the very first modular buildings that came out. And modular buildings, basically you can slot them together to make a street, so basically what I've got going on up at the back there. And I think it was like 2007 or something, but the number of complete sets that are still in the box is so small now. And there was one advertised on eBay, and the starting bid was $1,000, and it was like, I think it was $1,300 or something, and that was the starting bid. So, you know, the rare sets really do go for like bonkers money. So I'm really happy to have the bookshop, and it's cute as well. But I just get so much joy out of it, like I really do. But I really don't need to be buying any more Lego for the foreseeable now. I have plenty to keep me occupied. Do you know something, Lisa? I would quite like to sit in a live for someone's building live. I should maybe try and do that before we go for it on Sunday. I might pick up some pointers. I just really don't have time for stuff like that. Like, I really wish I did, though. I feel like I should have more of a shadow under here. I don't want to overdo this, but look, it looks nice and rich. Like, I'm into this. Like, I'm feeling it. Right, okay. Yeah. I just love how these are like popping out the page. Like, it makes me really happy. You could do an intermission video of spanning all your built Lego. Oh, that would take a while. I'm actually at the point just now where if I do build the sets that I've got, as I say, some of them are quite big, I'm going to have to start making a choice about which ones are on display. The plan was to have the extension finished, and that's basically freeing up another room in the house, and that was going to be mostly storage and Lego display, but that's going to be a while off. So if I keep building, I'm going to have to dismantle some sets because I don't have enough space for them, and I don't think Mr. Jem would be very happy if they start popping up all over the house. I would get into trouble for that. Right, okay, so we're going to take this teal colour. I'm kind of wanting to go for the lollipops. They're making me happy. So there's 3 different ones with 3 different designs. So I think I'll make them all different. So I'm going to take this teal colour up to this top one here. So that would be quite nice. Now the question is, do I want to have the consistency of the teal in the bows? Because then I could do all 3 bows the same. That's not a terrible idea either. Kind of like that. They have a host that reads the chat, so they do not need to worry about it. That might take some press off you. I can help you with having some join you live. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I can build and read chat at the same time. That's not really an issue. As long as I don't start dropping pieces everywhere. Yeah, right, okay, I'm going to go for it. I think I'll pop this under my hand. Pop this out of the way. Right, so I'll try and think a little more about the light source. The light source is kind of coming from this direction if we look at our berries here. So that edge there is probably going to be quite light. Get that down. Tasty. Dominic needs coffee, it's only 8 AM. Yeah, that's early. Well, my day started at 20 to 5 this morning, and it was Jock squeaking. I could hear him crying, and it must have woken me up. So I trudged through, and he was absolutely bursting for a pee-pee. So at that point in the day, I thought there's not much point in going back to bed because I was going to be getting up at like 5 anyway. So I just made myself a cup of tea. I was like, right, let's just get going. So that was the start of my day. At first, I thought it was Pip that was crying, and it kind of like sent me into a bit of a panic. I was like, oh no, please tell me she's not like pulled out her staples or something. And I went through, and it was Jock that was standing at the door. When I opened the door, he was just standing wagging his tail at me, going meh 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 meh. I was like, right, come on then. So, anyway, that's fine. It's just one of those things. I'm 100% expecting those instances to become more frequent the older he gets. You know, like as his bladder weakens. But it's fine, I don't mind. I'm an early bird anyway, maybe not just that early. 5 AM, I couldn't function at that time. Well, that, to be fair, when I used to go out to the farms and take the milk samples, you know, actually on the farm, you know, sometimes I had quite a distance to drive, and I had to be there like between an hour and half an hour before the milking actually started to get everything set up, because you've got to be ready to go, because obviously once the cows start going through, they don't stop and you have to keep up. So quite often I was getting up in the middle of the night. Sometimes it was as early as 3 o'clock and I was getting up and getting dressed and going to work. But I've always been like that anyway, ever since I was a really small child. And Mum and Papa Jem would tell you that. I've always been a wee early bird, so it kind of suits me. But the downside to that is I am absolutely useless at the opposite end of the day. I basically like just shut off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, don't expect anything complicated from me after 4 o'clock, because that's not going to happen. So there is a trade-off there. Interestingly though, Mr. Jem's a night owl. He's not, it's so ridiculous. Have you ever heard of a farmer that can't get up in the morning? Like he doesn't like getting up in the morning. But he seems to go into turbo mode at night. And it's really annoying because he comes in and does all his paperwork and then starts asking me hard questions at like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, please don't do this. It's usually arithmetic based things as well, and I'm like, nah, pocket calculator's not working. Battery's flat for the night. It's funny how we all function differently. But no, I'm definitely not a night owl. I can be persuaded into it if it involves Jack Daniels, but that has to be like once in a blue moon. Not on the regular. But if someone says to me, I need you to start really early, and then they're like, yeah, I need you to start at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, no problem, it's fine, do that. Elisa's got alarms that set off at 5, 5:15, 5:30, 5:45 and 6. You're not late for work. Oh my word, I just couldn't with that. Mr. Jem, he used to do that, and I basically just put a stop to it, because what was happening was his first alarm was going off really early and it was waking me up, and then he was going back to sleep and I was wide awake, and I had no reason to be awake at that time in the morning. So I stopped that, and I said to him, set an alarm for the time, like maybe 15 minutes before you actually want to get up, and if you're not up by then, I will wake you up, because I'm usually up before him anyway. Because at my proper job I normally start at 7 in the morning, So I'm kind of like up and going and getting stuff done before that on like an average day. So that works a bit better for both of us though, but it's just, I always think it's really unfair. Like if Mr. Jem's got a day off and he's having a lie-in, I just get up and like I take my clothes and everything and I tiptoe out the room and I go and get dressed in another room and I just shut the door. So, and I just don't disturb him because he hardly ever gets a lie-in. So I think it's really unfair on other days if he does have to get up really early that he's waking me up when I don't need to be up. But that's one of the things that you've just got to kind of, got to figure it out, you know, if you share a bed with someone. We were talking just recently, obviously with the situation with Mama Jem, we were talking about sleeping arrangements and one thing and another, and my parents have slept in separate beds for years. They've slept in separate rooms for years as well. They're just not compatible sharing a bed, and there's no other reason for it. But since Mama Jem's been unwell, my dad's actually been like sleeping in the room with her. And we were talking about, you know, the sort of differences and how he's adjusting to it after all this time. And one of the things, like, I would be absolutely devastated. See if Mr. Jem didn't want to come to bed and sleep in the same bed as me, I'd be really upset by that. Thankfully, we're pretty good that way. But I just... Even like when we go to bed at night, if Mr. Jem goes to bed early, quite often I'll still go through with him, but I'll lie and read or whatever. I very much like us going to bed at the same time, even if I'm not going to sleep straight away. It's funny how, you know, these things are just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it when he sleeps in another bed. But the other thing as well is if one of us is away, you know, for on trips or whatever, and someone's left at home, usually the person that's left at home doesn't sleep very well when the other person's away. That's kind of a thing for us as well. So this coming weekend though, I'm anticipating that not being a thing on account of the fact that I'm tired, because I'm just on the go all the time. I'm up to 3 runs this week as well, so physically there's days where I'm tired as well as mentally tired, so I hope that's going to help. But generally I don't get a particularly good quality sleep if Mr. Jem's not around. Right, what do we think to that? That's looking kind of nice. It's looking kind of nice. Might add in a wee bit more of this, this dark indigo colour. I went over the line a wee bit there and it's kind of annoying me, and it's a colour that's not going to erase. I'll try. Have a go. That's better. A little soft brushy brush. Okay, yeah, that's better. It's not great, but it's better. I guess if you're not used to it, it's less of an issue getting up at 5 AM. Yeah, exactly. I would be really upset. See, if work asked me to work until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I'd be like, no. You know, so it works both ways, definitely. I'm not like this superhuman that just... Like, I'm not a machine that just keeps going. I'm far more productive and I'm far sharper in the morning than I am later on. And I think it's just like by the afternoon, like the brain fatigue's set in, and, you know, all the other weird habits and stuff that I've got. So that's my theory and I'm sticking to it. Marilise says, I'm the same. I can't sleep if hubby isn't with me, and when he gets up during the night, I wake up from him not being there. Do you do what I do? You've still got your eyes shut, but you stretch across the bed and kind of like pat the mattress to see if they're actually in the bed. I do that quite a lot. Like, I'm pretending I'm still asleep. I don't actually want to wake up properly, but I need to know if he's still in the bed or not. I think I want a wee bit more of this in here. I'm quite keen on leaving this wee white edge because I'm planning on putting the black outline round, so these paler parts here are going to stand out really nicely against that, but I'll do that once I'm finished. Kind of want more creases in here as well. It feels as if it's not creasy enough. Good terminology again there, creasy. Yeah, you do the mattress pat as well, that's hilarious. Yeah, glad it's not just me. That makes me feel better, thank you. And move on to the knot in the middle. That's Mr. Jem had his pit stop. I just heard the door going. I don't know if the mic picked that up there, but that was. I've got these things stuck to my hand. He's been in for a coffee stop, top up his flask, and he's away back out again. The boys are frantically trying to get stuff done because we're on the run up to Christmas. The workers have time off at Christmas, so they try and do as much as they can before they finish up, so that in the 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year, Mr. Jem and I only have to like go out and feed the cows and bed them up on days that they need fresh bedding, and you know, nothing else, so that we get a bit of a break as well. I quite like it though, because I'm not out with the cows very often now, so it's still quite like a novelty for me, and I enjoy, because I enjoy working with the cows anyway. So I'm quite looking forward to it, because it's just an odd time here and there where I go out and help now. So yeah, that'll be nice for me. Mr. Jem gets me to shout at him as well. Jan says, I'm going to have to watch this back. Work from home and I'm having to work really hard. Ridiculous. Yes, it is. Thea says, I'm single for too long. I can't imagine having to share my bed anymore. It's perfect with my weighted blanket and my pillows and stuffed animals. Well, I was like that for a long time as well. I was really used to being on my own. I stayed by myself. And I had everything, because I'm a very particular person and I like everything a certain way. But it's amazing how you adapt to these things. And Mr. Jem's not... like, he's not a small person. He takes up quite a lot of space. But that was one of the first things we decided on when we weren't absolutely destitute. Was we bought a bigger bed, and that's like, without a shadow of a doubt, it's definitely helped things. I don't enjoy having to go cross country for a cuddle though. You got to like shuffle all the way across. But in terms of actual sleep quality, it's great. It's really, really good, and I would never go back. As long as my house allows for that bed to fit in a bedroom, that's what will be happening forevermore. But you do, I mean, you adapt to these things, especially if it's somebody you really like, you know. Bad work, bad, go and sit in the corner. Hello Susan, how are you? How's your weather? Is it as wild as ours? Scottish people talking about the weather, there's a surprise. Weighted blankets, yeah. That was one of the other things that I'd considered when I wasn't sleeping so well, was actually having separate blankets or duvets, you know, to kind of mitigate the tug of war that sometimes occurs with the sheets. But again, not really a thing, but I think I would like a weighted blanket. I think I would like that very much. They're quite expensive, are they not though, Thea? Very wild, wet and miserable is the weather. Okay, same's, yeah. I decided it was a good idea to go out for a run at 8:30 this morning, and it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds, and it totally screwed me up because I was having to work much harder. Because the first mile and a half I was at, like, I was a headwind, I was like running into the wind. And I was having to work twice as hard to keep my pace, like, even semi-sensible. And then what that meant is for the second half of the run, when the wind was at my back, I was absolutely stuffed because I was just knackered. I was like, oh, what am I doing? I did question my life choices this morning when I went out for a run, but I'm determined to get 3 runs in this week, so it was like, yep, just got to go, just got to do it. But it did stay dry, thankfully. I didn't get soaked. But this morning was really, really hard work. It was one of my less enjoyable runs. I did get quite a lot of satisfaction out of it though, the fact that I did manage it, and I took 2 seconds off Sunday's time as well, so I was like, yep, I'll take it. I'm not really at the stage where I'm watching my times just yet, but they're naturally coming down themselves quite quickly without me making a concerted effort to run faster. But for sure I thought today was going to be a slower run, just because of the wind. Because I mean, at one point I was like eating my ponytail, because normally when I'm running I put like a high ponytail, you know, like up here. Oh guys, Mr. Chubbs is at the feeder. Oh, this is my squirrel, Chubbs. He's having a wee munch. I wish I could show you, but this camera here is like bolted on to a stand. I daren't move it. I'll take a wee picture for you and I'll post it on the Discord later. He's having a little munch. Hey little dude. He's got his back to us. He's okay, yeah. Sorry, almost 300. Oh, okay, yeah, so that's the... Yeah, in euros, yep, okay. Susan's got a very needy Westie. Yeah, so to catch you up on the Chubbs situation, this is our pet squirrel. I say pet squirrel. He comes every day to the feeder now, and he's kind of gotten used to movement inside. He's not brave enough to, you know, for me to go right up to him, but he comes every day now. And on Wednesday morning, the bin men came to take away our rubbish. It's a recycling day on... No, it was Tuesday. Recycling day on Tuesday. And when they come really early. They come at like 6:45 in the morning. And Mr. Jem had gone out to work. And he came straight back in and he said, I don't think you'll be seeing your wee squirrel friend anymore because the bin men have just run over a squirrel outside the house. And I was genuinely like, I was upset about it, and I was like, because I was just saying the night before, I don't have very favourable feelings about our bin men for various reasons. They're not my favourite people, so I was really angry because we'd just gotten to the stage where Chubbs was happy to come up and sit, you know, and I could move about normally in the cave. So I was really angry about it. And I was saying to everybody in the Discord, I don't know if it's actually him, but I'm just going to have to wait because he comes at certain times of the day. And I was absolutely over the moon when he appeared in the afternoon. I was like, you're alive! So rest in peace to the random little squirrel that did actually get flattened, but it was not Mr. Chubbs. So yeah, there you go. Getting quite attached to my wee friends that come to this feeder now. I've got a really chubby little chaffinch as well, and he's got like a proper crest, like he's got a proper mohawk. And he's very mannerly. He accommodates the other birds, like he hops along the perch out the way so that the other ones can get in. Whereas I find that the other species tend to sort of fight with each other a wee bit. You know, they have a bit of a disagreement and they're all trying to sort of compete and get in for some food. But Mr. Chaffinch is fairly gentlemanly. Sometimes he brings Mrs. Chaffinch too. Poor other squirrel. Yeah, happy it's not Chubbs. Well, we've got there potentially a second one now. It has one ear is more or less missing, but it's still got like tufts of hair grown out, so it must have happened a long time ago. And the other ear's got a notch out of it, so he's quite distinctive. And I was working away yesterday, and Jock was crashed out the usual, and he was snoring a wee bit. And he was making this like weird squeaking noise, and I was like, oh, that's not, like, that doesn't sound good at all. So I looked down, and as I went to look down like over the desk, because he's normally when I'm working my proper job I face in that direction, and I was looking down over the desk and I realised it was Mr. Chubbs and this other squirrel, and they were like toe to toe, and they were squeaking at each other, and like it was getting a bit kind of heated. So we'll wait and see if it appears again, so we might have to give that one a name too. But I haven't seen that one before. That was a new squirrel. So I'm not going to let them fight though. They're both welcome, but I will not tolerate fighting. There's enough squabbles out there as it is. I'm telling you, it's like a little soap opera. There we go. Drink some fluids. Susan's daughter has a fear of bin lorries. Is there a particular reason? Like, is it a phobia or is it a fear? Oh my god, he's so adorable. He's so adorable. I don't know if you can see him. He's too far away, isn't he? If you can see the outline of the feeder, there's a dark shadow behind it. That's Chubbs. He is actually my absolute favourite. He's a brave little man. I wonder if I could set up another camera. We can have a feeder cam. I've got like a little wide lens GoPro, but the last time I tried to hook it up to the Wi-Fi, I really didn't like it. Like it kind of like threw the toys out the pram. That might be something I can figure out in the new year though. Wrestling with technology. All I can see is his whiskers going, like the side of his cheeks going, because he's munching away because he's facing away from me. She will avoid visiting on Bin Lorry Date and will detour if she sees one. So yeah, but like, why is she frightened of them though? Is she frightened that she's like they're going to crash into her, or does she not like the noises, or did she, you know, has she had an experience that's left her feeling that way, or is it she just doesn't like them? That's like me with potatoes. I've got a potato thing. Can you actually tell if it's a male or a female? Can you actually tell if it's a male, or are we just assuming? No, Mr. Chubbs is a boy. Nuts. Sometimes they park their backsides like up against the glass. So yeah, he's definitely a boy, definitely. I think as well though, because I have started to like look this stuff up. I'm doing my research, and squirrels are a bit like dogs in that you can quite often tell male and females apart by the shape of their heads. The females tend to have smaller skulls and kind of like finer features basically. So there's other ways to tell as well, and the boys have usually got bushier tails. I'm assuming that's because they want to show them off to get all the ladies or something, I don't know. That would be my assumption. But yeah, I'm starting to kind of read up a little bit on what we can do for them, and because obviously, I mean, I don't want them to be super tame. They're wild animals, but I would like to be able to move about normally in the cave, you know, and not disturb them and like let them eat, but for them to be okay with me as well. The squirrel nuts are a thing now. Nice, glad she asked. I bet you are. She's convinced they're going to get her after hearing about the accident in Glasgow a few years ago. My sister-in-law was present at that time. She had to go for counselling because she saw what happened. Now, see, that's fairly rational. That is fairly rational, I would say. Legitimate reason. I'm loving these two colours. This looks really nice. Like, I'm loving these two colours together. This was a good choice. Thanks for the suggestion, Dominique. Yeah, that was a really good shout. I would love to know why I'm so hoarse today. It's not like I've been shouting at anyone. Got this little tail down here. Whee! Dominic, you're welcome. So I would like to know, chat, what everyone's working on, or where some of you just got me on in the background. There was someone that used to watch, not in the streams, but used to watch my videos while they did their housework, so I was always just on in the background. They never actually watched anything, they just listened. That was a long time ago. I don't think that person's a regular now. But I always find that quite funny that you guys might be like doing your washing or something, and I'm just wittering away in the background. It's like when Jan says she's got me on in the car. It's so weird. It's cool, but it's weird. But are some of you actually working on stuff? Like, are you working on arty stuff, or last minute Christmas stuff? I've still got I've got like a traditional paper chain to hang in our front hallway, because our hallway's like long and narrow, and there's nowhere really to put decorations that take up floor space. so I thought I'd stick to sailing instead. I've got that to finish. That's really my only sort of festive job I've got left now. Which I'm just doing, well, I say when I sit down at night, not that that's happened recently, but you know, if I've got an hour maybe before bed or something and Mr. James watching something on telly box, I'll just like add a couple of links to it. So, but that's really the only thing I've got left to contend with now, which is good. I'm glad I'm all organised. At least something's organised. Susan, I didn't realise how many accidents a year involve bin lorries. She's always sends the details to me going, see, I told you. Oh no, that's terrible. Oh. And Jan's ordering an office account for a store and you're not happy about it. I should be spending the day sorting out my new mobile phone. Absolutely. Nice doing her nails, a different kind of painting. Oh, that's nice. I was thinking I should maybe do something with my nails. I trapped my thumb in one of the big like steel gates outside, like one of the cow gates. My nail is intact, but unfortunately, obviously, I'm quite bruised under there. So I was thinking I might have to paint them a dark colour because I don't know how, but I've managed to keep them all and they're actually quite a uniform length just now. I don't know, maybe I'll paint them like a Christmassy sparkly red or something. That might be quite nice for our live stream. Ellie says we need a feed cam. I'm so glad you do lives now, they are fun. I actually enjoy doing live streams now more than I enjoy doing videos, and it never used to be like that. It used to be the other way around. See, just because it cuts out the editing element for me, not only because I don't like editing, but also just as a time factor, because obviously I don't do anything to these when they go up for replay. It's just as they are. I don't make as much revenue though from live streams as I do from videos. So there's arguments for both sides. But especially like this, like having a regular one like this on a Wednesday afternoon, I really like it. Because I always feel pretty chilled out by the time we're done. And I feel as if, although technically I'm working, it doesn't feel like work. So, you know, that's always a good thing. We like that. It's always nice. Dominique always misses the weekend streams because I work those days. This is your weekend? Yeah. Susan misses the cave music. Well, you can look forward to the cave music on the Cavemas videos, but it's the festive one, so you'll get some jingly bells in there as well. You've got that to look forward to next week. Yeah, well, I do plan on sorting out the video situation. The thing just now is I'm trying not to plan too far ahead because we've got Mama Jem to look after. Things have progressed slightly and not in a good way, and she will be going. Unfortunately, she's going for open heart surgery, and it's going to be sooner rather than later because things are considerably more grim than we first thought. So the consultant stroke surgeon is not wasting any time. Obviously Christmas is in the way, but it's going to be imminent in the new year. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens there and you know, how well she recovers and what she wants to do for recovery. So I'm really not making any plans or promises for the channel in the immediate new year because I still have to juggle my proper job as well, you know, with taking care of her. So, but I think once she's out the other side of it and she's starting to kind of semi get back to normal, then I'll make a decision and, you know, I can go from there with what I'm going to do in terms of videos and streams and stuff, because I might change the schedule up a bit next year. You never know. You never know. Mama and Papa Jem are coming on Monday. They were going to come on Sunday, and then I told them I was doing the charity stream and they're like, yeah, we'll just wait and come on Monday. I was like, okay, that sounds good. So yeah, they will be here at some point on Monday. Mama Jem did a test run in the guest room when Mr. Jem and I went away at the weekend to visit his family They came and just stayed one night, and it was just so that we didn't have to rush back for the dogs. And they thought that would be like a good test run to see how Mum was going to get on, because she's not really sleeping, and I was kind of worried that she wouldn't be able to settle in the bed in the guest room, even though that's the bed that she would normally sleep in when she's here. But you know, it's special circumstances. But she got on fine, and the journey was no problem because Papa Jem drove and Mama Jem basically slept the entire way. So it was neither here nor there really, which is great. But I don't think normally they would stay until after New Year, and I don't think that's going to be the case, because I think that Mama Jem will just want to get home and like back to her own bed. You know what it's like when you're not well, you kind of just want your own bed. But we're not putting any pressure on anything, and if she gets into a wee routine here and she's happy and she wants to stay longer, I've told her that she can stay as long as she likes, and either Mr. Jem or I will take her back home, you know, because Papa Jem will have to go back to work, and I can take her home at a later date if that's what she wants. So that's kind of, we're just playing it by ear, but she's just trying to keep herself upright for the time being, which has proven difficult. But she's trying her hardest, and all we can do is just look after her and, you know, help her to like not die before she gets surgery. That would be really helpful right now. So that's where we're at. Hello Abba, how are you? Thanks for coming and stopping by. You just missed the sort of serious part of the conversation. I was talking about Mama Jem there, but we can go back to jollier things now. I'm just really enjoying colouring in these ribbons. Like I'm having such a good time here. I'm really happy because I get to use my indigo pencil because it's one of my favourites. And to be fair, I like teal as a colour anyway. Some of you will remember that my kitchen in my old house, I had teal walls in there and it was fabulous and I really liked it. Won't be doing that in this house though because my kitchen's very small. I need to keep it as light and airy as possible because we're in a cottage now. And to be fair, it's a fairly spacious cottage, but kitchen's not anywhere near the size of my last one, which I'm sad about. I miss my old kitchen. I do miss it. Having that space was amazing. But my new kitchen's going to be good too, eventually when I get it. The fabled new kitchen. We have found another builder, so we're going to get in touch with him and just be like, please come and fix our house because we're getting sick of this. I'm so done with the whole situation. Okay, nice. My dad is self-employed. He does some engineering stuff on the side, but he manufactures and fits window blinds for a living, and he's done it for nearly as long as I've been alive. My parents started the business when I was really small, like not a baby, but not quite at school either. So they've been doing it a long time. He's mostly just a tinkerer though. He's always been into, he's a bit like me, like he's got a job that pays the bills and then he's got his other job that he likes more because he likes to tinker. And so he's been kind of trying out the 3D printing stuff. That's kind of his jam just now, but he's not making any money from that. That's very much in the experimental stage. But he started out life as a mechanic. He did an apprenticeship with BMW many years ago. So he likes to tinker with things, he likes to fix things. And he's very good at fixing things here on the farm, and I think that if him and Mama Jem stayed a bit closer, I think they would close down the blind business and Papa Jem would come and work here full time as a mechanic stroke handyman, because he is at his happiest when he's on the farm because he was brought up on a farm. That was his childhood. So, but that might happen yet. Be like semi-retired tractor mechanic stroke fixer of broken things. I am the baby. I am the baby. My brother is 4 years older than me. I'm not really sure what to do about this crease on the top here. I'll say my light source is kind of coming from this way. I'll maybe keep a light edge there. Kind of like, I feel like the creases are wrong in this bow. I think that's what's throwing me off. Like, I feel like that line there should be coming and joining there. I don't know. Just making things up now. The thing I really like about this indigo pencil is that it's quite transparent. You know, so if you use it lightly, you can layer up your other colour, and it just gives you a sort of nice, deep, rich version of your other colour. It doesn't like muddy it up. I find that with some Payne's Grey pencils, because Payne's Grey is another pencil that I like to use for that. But I really like this indigo pencil for that. No, it works in most instances. Not all, but most. I mean, you don't want to use it with yellow because you end up with green, but... I'm not as convinced about that part. Don't think that's as good as my other ones. Hi, Green Hat, how are you? What do you do for a living? Something boring that is interrupting my colour cave time. How very rude of it. We've had this discussion about Jan as well. That's funny. My hand's quite stiff today as well, which is weird because it's really mild outside, so I don't know how that works. But yeah, I can feel, and it's right in at it's in at my joints, my knuckle joints today. Very strong. I hate this mild weather as well. Like it's supposed to be cold, at least be wet and windy and miserable. You know, like all the time, but don't be hitting me with like 12 degrees. It should not be 12 degrees. There's nearly Christmas. It should be cold. I think we do have a couple of cold days coming up. The other thing as well for, excuse me, for running, I run very well in cold temperatures. And you know, very cold temperatures. I do not run well in anything that's even moderately mild. I just knew. So, you know, I'll go out running and like I'll go down to like -4 before it really starts to become an issue. I've run colder than that. Not really advisable, but it's doable. Whereas if it's like 22 degrees, like that's a flat out no, it's not happening, because I will actually just expire. And it really and it shows itself in my times. When I was really, really fit, the heat affected my times a lot more than the cold. So I'll take a crispy day out over a stinky mild one any day of the week. I feel like I need to have a bit more. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Jan's realised what we're colouring now. Raining here, 11 degrees, soggy and miserable. Yeah, I think it's the same everywhere, Green Hat. Susan, when I say Susan's not far from me, she's in Scotland. We were just saying that it's been like super windy, like really gusty. And it's just been grey all day, but it is ridiculously mild and I don't like it. Jan used to struggle running if it was cold. Getting cold air into my lungs makes me cough a lot. Well, one of the things, here's your science lesson for today. One of the things about colder weather is that it constricts everything. And, you know, we're talking about proper cold temperatures, like below zero. And the colder it is, the harder it is for your body to take the oxygen from the air that you're breathing in. So, it will affect your performance. And obviously, generally, people don't like cold, and exerting themselves at the same time, you know, isn't the greatest. Seems to not affect me. Don't know why. But again, the flip side to that is anything over, I would say probably 16 degrees, maybe 18 at a push when I'm really fit. It affects my times, like it slows me down because I'm too hot. And I fatigue really quickly. And too much information, but I'm a really sweaty person when I'm running. Like, the sweat runs off me. So obviously the warmer it is, the more I sweat, the more dehydrated I become. It's not a good look. And I watch people running marathons in all these hot countries and I'm like, no, like, what's wrong with you people? Why are you not all like crawling along the tarmac gasping for breath? Like, no. If I go out on a sunny day, even if it's not that warm, I'm like, I will take longer to run so that I can get into the shade. You know, if there's trees or whatever, I'm in the shade at every possible opportunity just to make it more comfortable. But wind and rain, yeah, no problem. I'll go out running in the rain all the time. Skin's waterproof. I'm soaking in sweat anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's rain or it's sweat. It just makes no odds. Quite happily go out for a run in the rain. Again, don't mind running in the rain. And a lot of people are like, oh God, no, what are you doing that for, you lunatic? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But the wind today was particularly bad. I don't think I'll do that again if the opportunity arises to pick another day. So I'm going to go back out on Friday. I haven't even looked at the weather forecast for Friday. And I'm going to go as soon as I've finished work. So that's going to be my celebration of finishing work for Christmas, is going for a run. And then I shall run again on Sunday morning before we stream. Again, counteract some of the alcohol calories that are going to be consumed later on. But my plan is basically to get out for a run, walk my dogs, and make sure I have a really decent meal. Like, I'm going to have a big lunch. Hopefully that'll counterbalance some of the alcohol also. And that should be me set up for our stream shenanigans. That's the plan. It's so nice to, like, see, because I'm a person that likes structure and that likes routines, running's really good for that, because I know exactly, and I can, you know, basically start with, oh, like, Wednesday's a running day, so let's plan everything around that run. And I find that if I go out running in the morning, it sets me up really well for the rest of the day, because I come back, get in the shower, and, you know, by that time you've recovered a bit and the endorphins have kicked in, so you feel quite kind of energised and ready to go. And I love it in the summer because I can go super early. Like, I'm having to wait until well after 8:30 now before I can go out because it's too dark, and I will not run because there's no pavements and no street lights. So I won't go out running in the dark. It's not safe. I need a wee bit of light at least. So I'm having to wait. Whereas in the summer I can go out at 5:30 in the morning, there's not a soul about, and it's nice and cool as well. Even if it's going to be a hot day, it's still like a decent temperature at that time, so I really enjoy that part of it too. The UK broke its wind power generation record on the 5th of December, so I guess that's a bit of a bonus to the wind. We've got quite a lot of wind turbines around here as well. It does seem to be quite windy here though. We were told that it wasn't. It's not as windy as where we were, but at the old cave we were perched like right at the top of a hill. So it was nearly always windy, whereas here I don't know. But just this past week it's been like really, really windy a lot. The weather seems to be really unsettled, like really changeable, and I wish it would just stop it and make its mind up. Doesn't fit with my routine. Oh, I'm dropping spangles on the floor. Is it just me or is this light really bright? I wonder if I turn that down a little bit. Oh, sorry. I must have a loose connection somewhere because every time I touch this the camera just like freaks out. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? I just felt very sort of overexposed there. I think it's because I've lost the light outside now as well. A bit strange. Right, yeah, right, don't get distracted. I need to pick this up before I... Oh god, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It must have like stuck to my arms. Whose idea was it to have festive sprinkles? Jeez, oh. I suppose it would be better if we were working on the opposite page, then, you know, that the sprinkles would be on that side and then wouldn't stick to my arm, but here we are. My watch keeps vibrating. I've got so many couriers and parcels and stuff coming. I changed my watch face as well, let me show you. I've got a Zelda Sheikah slate for my watch face. I'm really excited about that. It's my favourite. Okay, just add in a little bit more of my indigo here, and then I would like to pick some purples, and there are lots of lovely purples in this set. Ooh, yeah, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Quite happy with that so far. This cider's quite nice. I'm not usually a cider drinker. Right, okay. Let's take a wee look here. So I think the manganese violet's quite a pretty colour. So let's start with that. And I'll maybe pull out the red violet again. Is that far enough away from the pink of our candy canes though? Get a scrap of paper. This stuff. So the colours that we used for the candy canes was the light magenta was the light colour, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's enough. I just didn't want them to be too close in colour because I want to have variation between all our sweet treats here. Right, okay. Fabulous. Let's do it. And I'll maybe use the mauve as a darker colour again. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see. Right, I don't need the light magenta, that I can go back. I might just take a break here. This is a good place to take a break actually. What I want to do is finish one of the lollipops. That's my aim by the end of the stream. I am trying to keep myself tight on time though, because I still have things to do. I didn't even see last night. I didn't even cook dinner last night. I just didn't get there. And Mr. Jem sidled through it like 8:30 last night and went, "Will I go and get something out the freezer?" And I'm like, "Yes, please, go forth, put the oven on." So I'll have to cook dinner tonight. Right, I'm going to take a quick break, a quick comfort break. Now is the time you may talk about food, and I shall be back in just a wee minute. That's me, I've got my mail as well, which is great. Right, so what's everyone having for tea then? Green Hat needed inspiration. Sausages and beans and maybe a naan bread. That's an interesting combination. Hello, Ulrika. Food chat. You do have good timing. Chicken and rice soup. Nai's been thinking about making a lasagna since the last stream. Oh my. Probably pizza for the kids here and then something else for the grown-ups later. That sounds good. Fish and chips for dinner. I am making enchiladas this evening. So my chicken's out. And I've got some really fancy olives as well, so I'm going to make myself a nice salad to go with it. This is what I was going to show you. I got this little sticker book for scrapbooking with, and I've got another one of these. Excuse me. Where is this hoarseness coming from? Yeah, so I've got another one of these books. So I quite fancied the Christmas one because I don't have a lot of Christmas scraps. So Merry and Bright Christmas, a festive sticker book. But these stickers, they're all individually cut, so you can just peel them straight off and stick them on. You don't have to go round them with a oh, look at these. Oh, they're so cute. You don't have to go around them with a scalpel or an X-Acto blade. So I like them as well because in the other one, it's quite, you know, they're themed, but there's artwork in different styles. So you can see there's very sort of traditional angels and things there. And then there's a more sort of fun type art style there as well. So I like them for that. And then there's a lot in them. Oh, there's ones that you can make your own little parcel labels with those. Like that. That's nice. Oh, I like these too. Oh, these are so good. Nye loves me some good olives, or regular olives, or even okay olives. Yes, I am in the same olive camp as you. Oh, he's got his little spectacles on. Oh, that's amazing. We don't have a festive Mr. Chubbs though. Got everything else. We've got owls and raccoons and foxes, but no squirrels. Okay. Maybe I need to draw Mr. Chubbs in festive gear. What do we think, guys? I think I might have to do that at some point over the festive period. Give him a little Santa hat or a little scarf. That would be super cute. Yeah, this is nice. These are really good as well, you know, for having like corners or making a border. These ones are more like labels. Little traditional Christmas scenes there. Oh, these are cute. I like them a lot. Little birdies. Joy. Joy, oh joy. Noel. Yes to festive Chubbs. Okay, I think we so lots to choose from, lots of borders here as well. So these are like strips. So that just comes off all in one. You can use that to frame your pages as well. Yeah, this is real nice. A little Santa Claus post office, that's so cute as well. And some nice wreaths there as well. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad that I purchased this. Oh, that is a fat Christmas tree. I do like a fat Christmas tree. My Christmas tree's fat this year. It's like short and dumpy. I picked a good one this year. Okay, there you go. So if anyone's interested, this is Peter Popper Press. And I think I paid about £10 for that, but you know, you've got over 500 stickers. That's going to last you a few Christmases, and you can make yourself some nice Christmas cards or labels with those as well. Anywho's, right, back to what we were actually doing. And I think I'm going to focus on this lollipop here. So I'm just going to pop that down there. And I'm going to get the manganese violet on the go. I'll get zoomed in again, shall I? All there. That looks about good to me. Ooh. That's a nice set of stickers. Yeah, pretty good. Might as well start in this section. As good a section as any. Again, I want like really nice, deep, rich colour, so lots of light layers, build them up. Paper in Hannah's books is great for this. So we can layer away until our little hearts are content. Get some really nice colour down here. At least wishes or weather would pick a season. Saturday and Sunday was dead of winter, Monday and Tuesday mid-spring. Yeah, I don't think you're alone with that one. I think there's quite a lot of that going on everywhere. I mean, we have had, when we've had really cold temperatures, we've had -4. I think that's about the coldest it's been. But I say we've had like 12 and 13 degrees as well, so which is definitely spring weather for us. Okay, I feel like this would curve around slightly, so make that edge a little bit darker there. We'll see how this goes. A Christmas chubs. He's really cute as well. When he sort of senses something, you know, like if something alerts him, he sits up and leans back a wee bit, and then he takes his little paws and he tucks them right into his tummy. But like obviously you can't see, but further down, and he kind of like and he just sits like that for a minute. He's very, very cute. Right, so I just want a hint of that round the outside. And then back to my, I'm going to give this a wee bit of a sharpen as well. A wee bit of this manganese violet. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's annoying me. I can't turn that over. Can't get my finger caught on it there. We're flapping about. Trying to kind of go with the curve of the, you know, the actual shape. That's looking a bit more like it. That's what we're after. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Just go a wee section at a time here. My cat is currently sat between me and the laptop. She's helping in inverted commas, yes. Thankfully I don't have that issue any longer. I do remember one day when we still had mist. It was one of the first times that Mr. Jem was going back to Ireland to visit his parents, and he was just going himself. And it was one of the first times he was kind of leaving me, you know, with the dogs on the farm and one thing and another. And when he left, he said goodbye to the dogs, and at that point we had Mist, Jock, and Woo, Jack Russell. And for some reason, Mist got really excited when he left, and I thought that's a bit off. And I was joking with her. I'm saying, "Oh, it's so exciting, Mist! We can have a party now that Dad's away." And she started hopping about, and she like tore through the house. And when I went through to the cave, she was sitting on top of the desk with her bum on the laptop, and I couldn't stop laughing because like she would never do that, like, ever. And it was just really funny. It was always have to say like, "I'm ready to party, like let's be rebellious." Really, really funny. And I took a photograph of her. I've got that photo somewhere because I thought Mr. Jem will never believe me. Oh, funny. But yeah, usually that's a cat thing, isn't it? Not a collie-sized dog thing anyway. Oh. One of our regular squirrels has learned that if he does a little dance in front of my partner, he gets monkey nuts. I keep trying to film, but I always miss out. He has your partner well trained. Green hat, if you do a silly dance, does your partner give you snacks? Oh, that's funny. Well, I definitely don't want Mr. Jem giving me monkey nuts if I do a dance, because that would be dangerous. Would like to avoid that situation in this household. I had a good moan at Papa Jem at the weekend. He's got a thing for peanut M&Ms, and I wish he would just stop it. Like, just stop it. Could you not bring normal M&Ms instead? I've already got, I call it the danger bucket, and it's it's like a big tub of peanuts that I've got for the birds and the squirrels, and I call it the danger bucket. So I've got a set of gloves and a utensil so that I'm not touching anything, and Papa Jem like casually saunters in and dumps his peanut M&M packet, which is open by the way, onto the counter. I'm like, oh, I wish you wouldn't do that. He does quite like nuts generally though. He's quite partial to cashew nuts and Snickers as well. None of that in this house, thank you very much. I feel as if I have to turn the book slightly, maybe that way. Yeah, that's better. That's better. You've been eyeing up all the, I bought in some treats for Christmas time. Like sweet treats and things. And I've put them like up on top of the cupboards. They're not in the cupboards. So that indicates to Mr. Jem that they're not for general consumption. And I'm starting to it's getting to that time now. I'm like, it's the 18th, kind of start thinking about maybe cracking some of this stuff open. But I'm remaining disciplined. I fully intend to enjoy myself to my usual full capacity at Christmas. I am not skimping out on goodies. There's no point in working hard and watching what you eat and everything if you can't enjoy yourself once in a while. And I really haven't indulged at all since I was on holiday, which was the end of October, so I feel like it's justified. And as long as I get my runs in between time, hopefully that will help to balance out some of the carnage, as it were. So that's kind of my plan. I did have a good think about it. I was like, I'm not going to go like total blowout because there's no need for that, but I am going to enjoy the things I want to enjoy, and I will probably overeat a little bit at some point. Probably on Boxing Day when we have our family lasagna that I talked about before. Our peasants lasagna, because I will eat my body weight in that until I physically can't shove any more in because it's that good. And it's one of those things we only make it on special occasions, so I will be eating a lot of that. And I'm fine with it. Keep your turkey. I'm not interested in your turkey. Give me the lasagna. Oh, that's a good point, Ulrika. How are you feeling? Are you still really poorly, or have you perked up a wee bit yet? I would still say though, it's better to have it now than to pick it up next week. That's what you don't want, especially if you've got, if you're kind of socialising, if you're seeing family and stuff. Because again, you don't really want to pass it to anyone. As I had to say to Mr. Jem when we went to visit his family at the weekend, and I just said, I was like, it's obvious, but I'm going to state the obvious. If anyone's sick, we can't go near them because we can't risk bringing anything back to Mama Jem, because obviously she's got like zero immune system just now, and she needs to be as fit as possible for what may be coming in the new year. Thankfully, nobody was sick. Well, the baby had a snotty nose, so this is like our newest nephew. He's only 6 months, and he had a bit of a snotty nose, but sister-in-law informed us that he's had it for weeks, and nobody else has gotten sick in their household, so probably not infectious by that point. But you know what kids are like? Kids are like little germ factories. But it was all good. Everyone was well and in good humour, and we had quite a nice time. It's just such a long way to go for us, because we have to go cross country because they stay down in Dumfries and Galloway, so we're going like diagonally southwest, and there's a big chunk of like mountains and hills and stuff in the way. So like there's no good roads, and if you go round the long way, it's much longer. So it's a bit much to go down just for the day, but because of the circumstance with Mama Jem, I didn't really want to be away for too long. But we had a good time all the same, and it's always nice to see Mr. Jem's parents, because we really don't see enough of them because they're in Ireland. So it's pretty good, because it's difficult for us to get away from the farm. One of the sacrifices of living the lifestyle we live. Worse, oh no, really poor sleep last night, so I was napping earlier. Quite congested and achy. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a shame you can't take the Uniflu, because I would have got some for you. You get on the black market. It's fabulous stuff, it really is. And it like Sear Lemsip Max Strength and all the stuff that you get here, it doesn't even hold a candle to it. If you're ill, you want Uniflu Plus. And you get a vitamin C tablet with it as well, and it's actually really nice. Like it's a crunchable one, and it's pretty good. But again, it's generally with coughs and colds and things, it's usually Mr. Jem that gets it. It's not me. Number one, because I have very limited contact with people, and I fully intend to keep it that way forever. But also, Mr. Jem exerts himself a lot, and because he works long hours, he's burning the candle at both ends sometimes, so he's more susceptible to pick stuff like that up. And I always say to him, don't breathe on me, keep it to yourself, I don't want it. You can have it, that's something I don't want you to share with me. But there's nothing worse when you're feeling that, that kind of sluggish way, so I sympathise, Ulrika. I hope you start to feel better soon, because I don't want you missing out on festivities. Everybody's complaining about their day jobs. We're all in the same boat. Like, I would have so much more time for arting if I didn't have a proper job. Life would be so much easier. I think if I didn't have a proper job, like a day job, I would probably paint more, I think. Because I would have longer spells to go back and forth, like let things dry, etc. I definitely think I would do that. Because I always see, like, not that I ever see myself retiring because I would get bored. But if I was retired, I think I would spend most of my time painting. Jock's upside down in his bed. He's just let out a massive sigh. It's like such a hard life. The excitement will begin tomorrow though, because we will be going on a proper WALK tomorrow with Pip. She has not been allowed at all. So we're only allowed to walk on the... It's okay, he's sleeping. We're only allowed to go on the lead for the first little while, so she's kind of got like a rehab exercise type schedule to do for the next week. So I can't just let her off and like let her run wild the way I normally would. It's got to be done very gradually. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. I think I want to go for some yellows. Or do you think I should leave these white like we did with the candy canes? Or do you think there should be a colour in there? Bearing in mind I'm going to have the black outline the same as I've got on the candy canes. Has anybody got an opinion on that? In the meantime, while we're debating that, I'm going to grab... Oh... no, not that one. That's the wrong pencil. Come on, Jen. I'm going to grab the raw umber pencil and I'm going to have a oh goodness me, this needs sharpened as well. I'm going to have a traditional wooden lollipop stick. Just taking it easy, lots of honey, lemon, ginger, Old Faithful of Albus oil. Hey! Big fan of the Albus oil. This is a good base colour for woody things. I'm going to grab a dark brown as well. I might even just go, I was going to say I might just go dark sepia, but I think I'm going to aim for the burnt umber. I don't know where my swatch book's gone. I think it's under that pile of mail. Okay, Jan says a colour. What colour would you like, Jan? Or what colour do you think would be a good idea? So I'm just going to use some flicky motions here to get like a wood grain feel in. Helps if the paper's steady though. Yeah, nice. Hooray, finished work. Say, what colour would you like, Jan? Red. Purple and red? I was thinking minty green, maybe to keep and theme the rest of it other than the berries. It's quite cool colours. That's a good point, Green Hat. A minty green. I kind of like that idea too. What now? Watch is vibrating again. Stop vibrating. Like that, Green Hat. Hey there, rhymes. Okay, minty green we shall go for. Not really sure what pencils I'm going to use for that, but we'll figure it out. There we go. Nice little wooden lollipop. And I think this little heart in the middle, I'm going to make these pink colours that we've used, just because that would be nice, and leave the, you know, if we're going to make this a colour, then we'll leave that little bit white. So that was the light magenta. Oh dear. But I'm just having one of those days where I need to sharpen every single pencil. Yeah, right, okay, so I will need to find a swatch book for this and decide what I'm going to do. Could use a very pale layer of light green mixed, or we could use a really light, we could use a light phthalo and just keep it light. Or we could go more spearminty and go cobalt green. I think the phthalo green might be an idea. What time are we running to today? Do you know? We need to cook dinners, trying to work out. I'm not missing out cave time. I'm going to be finishing at 5 o'clock, Green Hat. I also have a schedule to run to today, so I need to be finished sharpish. Right, okay, yeah, let's go like phthalo green. Dig it out. Surprise, surprise, this needs sharpened as well. Can't get the staff these days. Okay. I think this was a great shout. Jock's starting to snore now. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. His snoring is getting out of hand. Like it really is. Jan's just realised I have paper to protect the rest of the page. Just thought your internet was a bit crap. No, it's just because I've got the black down, Jan, and it's quite smudgy, so I'm trying to keep my hand off it. I normally don't bother putting a sheet down. Depends what pencils I'm using as well. Prismacolors are quite, because they're soft, I would be more inclined to use a sheet of paper under my hand then. But I know it's a very common practice with a lot of colourists. This, I felt like it was needed because I don't want dirty smudgy marks in my background. Oh, that's pretty. What happened to your desk chair, Thea? Did you break it? That's how bad your afternoon at work's been. What crappy internet. Jock's making all the noises. His snoring's so much worse when he's upside down. I mean, when I say upside down, like he's lying on his back with his legs in the air. And the snoring multiplies exponentially when he's in that position. He's very happy though. We've been trying to make sure that he doesn't feel left out because Pip's obviously had an awful lot of attention for the last month. So we've been making sure that he's still getting lots of cuddles and telling him he's the goodest boy. Because he is the goodest boy. He stayed with Mum quite a lot when she was here though, apparently. But interestingly, he's got a heart murmur as well, so that's one of the 3 things that Mum's got wrong with her. So I was like, look at you two with your dicky tickers sticking together. Jan says, yeah, I snore more than I'm with Jock. It's quite a funny conversation with Mr. Jem about that. If I've been drinking alcohol, I snore. And I can snore quite badly depending on how much alcohol I've had. And apparently Mr. Jem couldn't get to sleep one night. And he was so annoyed with my snoring that he recorded it. And he was quite indignant, like he played it back to me in the morning. He's like, your snoring was ridiculous. And I just burst out laughing because Mr. Jem's snoring is loud. And he snores all the time. And I just said to him, I was like, well, do you know what? I'm so glad that it was the other way round for a change. I said, because your snoring is way worse than that every night. I said, so it's nice to be on the other end of it for a change and for you to be the reciprocant of snoring rather than the snory and snore air. And he was like, my snoring's not that bad. And I'm like, oh, yes, it is. I was like, would you like me to record your snoring? He said, no, no, thanks. Like, well. That's him without any alcohol. That's a bit too white there. Better. Better. Oh, this is pretty. It's Can I suggest we get me earplugs after the Lego stream? No. He can live with it. Mr. Jem's one of these people though that he puts his head in the pillow and he's asleep. He falls asleep so quickly and he can fall asleep anywhere. I am insanely jealous. It's a skill I wish I had because I am not good at sleeping. Mr. Jem's he's quite something. He's quite something. No, he can get on with it. Jock has a heart problem too. Yeah, they picked up the murmur probably about 2 years ago, but it was very slight, and it's quite a common complaint in collies, especially older collies that have had a working life. Most of the time, it doesn't really affect anything. If it's only slight, they just go about their normal business. Obviously, now that Jock's older, it's something that we've got to keep an eye on. But the things that are attached to it, like the snoring and his ability to exert himself, starting to slow down with age. So, but it's not affecting him in a way that he's poorly with it. It's just age, I'm afraid. But yeah, the snoring thing's just funny. Okay. Oh, that is so cute. I like it so much. I like it so much. That was such a good suggestion for the minty colour. Thank you very much, Green Hat. That was a great suggestion. Okay, out with the black pencil. Here we go. I have to say my hand's starting to get sore now, so it's probably just as well we're finishing shortly. Hello, dazzling action. Could I get a random adjective and colour? Also, hello. Well, can I give you minty green as a colour? Because that's what I've just used and I really like it. Someone in chat, could we give dazzling action an adjective, please? Rika's partner can fall asleep anywhere, anytime. It's really annoying, isn't it? It's really, really annoying. Just trying to soften this up a wee bit. There's not a lot of room in this wee section here. But this is one of these things that, see, when I'm finished the entire picture, I'll sit for probably 15-20 minutes with the black pencil and just kind of like touch up my edges. Because I think it's easier to see bits that stand out once you've got the whole picture finished. And just kind of like tweak things a wee bit. I feel like I need to sharpen this as well. Slimy! So annoying, and he snores like mad too. Yeah. It's quite good though, because if Mr. Jem's snoring, I can usually just like give him a wee prod and tell him that actually just tell him that he's snoring. And he either rolls over or he answers you, because sometimes you can have a conversation with Mr. Jem in his sleep, which is amazing fun. I was talking about that the other day with his family, because I was trying to find out if his dad does it, because his dad also snores really badly. And I was trying to find out if he talked in his sleep too, but he doesn't. I can hear really weird noises coming from outside. I don't know whether that was a weird farm noise or just a weird noise. I'm not entirely sure. It didn't sound like a normal farm yard noise though. That always makes me a bit paranoid. I think this page is going to be lovely when it's finished. This is going to be like my hobby page over the time that I'm off. And I like it because I can just do one little thing at a time. You know, I don't have to sit for hours and hours to get something finished. So, because I was kind of thinking about maybe starting another page in the ink house. But I think I'll leave that. And I think I'll embrace this book. It would be rude not to, since Julia sent me it. There's a really funny grain on some of the parts of this paper. I noticed it somewhere else as well. It's like really sharp lines. I don't know, let's see if I zoom in. I wonder if you'll be able to see that. Oh, mega zoom. Can you see it just here? It's almost like the paper's been scored. And I noticed it somewhere else. It was in one of the berries, but I managed to burnish it out in the holly berries. But that's the second place I found it. It's so strange. And it's just like a tiny, tiny little section. It's not a lot. A bit strange. You have it in your book too? Okay, well it's not just me then. Does he tell you secrets when he's sleep talking? No, unfortunately. I don't think he's got any secrets that I would be that worried about. Your grandfather once told me I talked in my sleep. I said, well, now I'm dead, I've obviously been playing much too much Super Mario on the Nintendo. That's funny. No, Mr. Jem... Oh, I've just flicked all my spangly things on the floor again. No, Mr. Jem, it's really random stuff. He had... that was another parcel going to the door. He had a bit of an obsession at one point with chickens in his garden. And this was because our neighbour had free-range chickens and they were coming into our garden and pooping everywhere and just generally making a mess of things. And quite often in his sleep he would be sending the dog out to chase the chickens out the garden. That went on for quite some time. It was quite funny. And then he went through a phase of being obsessed with Christmas. And there was, in behind our bedroom door, there was like a double set of sockets, and they had a switch on each, obviously, so you could turn one plug on or off. And Mr. Jem had gone to bed early one night. He was just really, really tired. And I've noticed that he tends to talk when he's really stressed out or when he's really tired. Like, it seems to be like a stress response. And anyway, so I'd gone upstairs to get into bed, and I noticed that one of the switches on the socket was on and there was no plug in the socket, but it was quite stiff. So I pushed it off and it makes like quite an audible click. And without skipping a beat, he went, "Christmas crackers!" And I looked over at the bed, obviously realised he was sound asleep. And I said, "Christmas crackers?" And he went, "Yep, they go snap." And that was the end of the conversation. I was like, how random was that? And it was nowhere near Christmas at this point. That one really tickled me. That's one of my favourites. They go snap. I'm like, okay, Mr. Jem. And then at one point, I think someone must have been asking him about, you know, in his dream or whatever, must have been asking about Christmas time. And he went, "How many people?" And of course I waited a little second, like you've got to give him like processing time. And I said, "How many people for what?" And he went, "I'm not talking to you." And I said, "Well, how many people for what?" And he just went, "Oh, I don't know, you'll have to ask Jem." So he thinks it was someone trying to invite themselves to Christmas dinner, and because I would be cooking Christmas dinner, they would have to clear it with me. But he has no recollection or idea of who he was talking about or what the situation was, but I just thought that one was a bit random as well. Well, that was a weird Christmas obsession. But yeah, he used to do it a lot more. It's not so frequent now, but it is really funny when he does it, especially if you can get him on like a good long conversation. It's incredibly funny. But you have to let him steer the conversation. Like you can't really steer the conversation because obviously a lot of the time he's not making any sense. So you have to pick like a fairly sensible line of questioning that pertains to whatever it was, whatever it is he's blurted out. But it's highly entertaining. But we had friends who didn't believe me that he did it. Like they were like, nah, there's no way you can have a conversation with him. And they came to visit us when we stayed down in England, and we went on a night out. And when we came back, Mr. Jem fell asleep in the chair, and he started talking when he was asleep in the chair, and the rest of us were still awake. And they were absolutely gobsmacked. And I was like, I told you, like, do you think I just made that up? So they had a conversation with him as well. And obviously, because we had like a fair amount of alcohol in us, it was even funnier. And Mr. Jem had zero recollection of it the following day. I can't really remember what that conversation was about, though. There's been a lot of them over the years. But I was so glad that someone else had witnessed it, Like, I'm not making it up, like, he actually does that. It's quite funny. There we go. I need to rest my hand a wee minute. It's getting crampy. I'm just going to grab my wee stress teardrop, my wee purple one. It's got a sticky base. Give it a squeeze for a wee minute. Thea's mum could ask her sister about anything and she told her secret, so that's funny. Yeah, not sometimes it is mumbling, and sometimes when you hear him kind of like murmuring away, you can try and you don't get any response. Like, he has to be receptive, but when you get him going, you can have like a proper conversation with him. There was one point he was swearing in his sleep. He was saying bastards, and I looked across and I said, "Who's a bee?" And he went, "They're just thieving. They're just thieving. That's all they're doing. They're thieving." And I'm like, "Thieving what?" And he's like, "My apples." I said, "What apples?" "The apples on the tree." Now, we have never had an apple tree ever, like ever. So, yeah. And he's like, "See, when I get a hold of them, like, they're going to regret it. The thieving bees stealing my apples." And I went, "Oh, well, you know what that means, don't you?" "What?" "I can't make cider if you don't have apples." And he just sighed and went, "Bastard." Like, yes. Love it. Thea sleep eats, like making nom nom sounds. Yes. I love it. Oh, that's so amazing. Oh, see if Mr. Jem made nom nom sounds, that would be my favourite thing ever. I really would. Oh, I love it. Nom nom sounds. Nom nom, Thea. Those are funny. I'm on a mission now. I'm really glad I left this lighter area on these ribbons because it's standing out quite nicely. My sides. Yeah, you always get a good giggle in here, dazzling. That is what we do. That is what we do. At least one time I woke up my sister because she fell asleep to a telethon. She stated, I can't. I asked why. She stated, because you, me and mum are on the Titanic and we're going down with the ship. Oh no. That's a bit grim, isn't it? Oh, that's funny though. That's a good one. Any tips for encouraging clarity in sleep talking? Green hat talks, but it's not clear enough, and I always want to know more. Oh, goodness me, we've infiltrated the chat. We have a partner who's on the offensive. My secrets, no! Tops would have been interesting. Well, I actually thought that was going to be a Farmy question when I started reading it, but there you go. Something I do with Mr. Jem is if he mumbles something, I say to him, can you say that again? I didn't hear you. And sometimes he'll repeat it and it's a bit clear, so you could try that. That may work. That's funny. See, sometimes you do just get like incoherent mumbling and it never comes to anything. And I'm not going to lie, I'm always a wee bit disappointed when that happens. I'm always hopeful that it'll turn into something funny. Because you're just like, quite often, I'm like lying there reading my book, minding my own beeswax, and he just comes out with something, and I'm like, oh, this could be fun. Yeah, honestly, I think it's just our brains sorting things out, and different people obviously have different ways of processing it. See, it's much more prominent with Mr. Jem when he's stressed. So I think his brain maybe just doesn't have the capacity to process everything the way it normally would on on a much more limited amount of sleep. So maybe the vocalizing helps to sort things out quicker. I don't know. I don't know much about things like that, but I just find it strange. I don't think it's a coincidence that it happens when he's really tired or really stressed. Green hat. My nan once asked me, "Are you awake?" and I replied, "No." Well, at least you knew you were asleep. That's always something. Oh, that's funny. I wonder what would happen if we put Green Hat and Mr. Jem in a room together while they were asleep. Do you think they would have a conversation with each other? Oh, that would be amazing. That would totally, totally make my night, watching two asleep people talk to each other. Oh, that would be the best thing ever. I don't even know how that conversation would go. Oh, that's tickled me. I like that one. I used to talk in my sleep. I've always had quite intense dreams that often follow stories night after night. So my partner's jokingly said he'd tune in for the next episode, yeah. I'd probably be telling him I needed to land my plane or similar. I'm imagining him telling me not to mess up his fields or his apple tree. His imaginary non-existent apple tree. That would be fun. I like it. I like it a lot. There was one time he was looking for like random objects. He was looking for a coat hanger and a nutcracker of all things, but he wanted them like both at the same time. And again, like I couldn't associate that with anything that had like maybe gone on during the day prior or even like a couple of days before. No idea where that came from. I asked him in the morning, I was like, are you like trying to fix something outside or bodge something? Like, do you need a coat hanger and a nutcracker for anything? And he looked at me as if I'd lost my marbles, and I was like, well, you brought it up, not me. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, Mr. Dreamy, Dreamy, Talky, Talky. Explain that one. I suppose it could be worse. He could be like saying random women's names or something. I also think it can happen if you wake someone up in the middle of dreaming. I had a friend in college that would seem to wake up he would have a complete conversation while he was walking around but was asleep and would not remember. Well, Mr. Jem doesn't normally remember that he's been talking, like he's got no recollection of it. The same friend would stop breathing while he was sleeping, it would freak out. Oh! Yeah, I was going to say, sleep apnea's not funny. Me and Green just look at each other across the room as our dark humours manage to imagine the same thing. Love it. Nearly there. Nearly there. It's actually 2 minutes past 5. Obviously, I'm going to continue on until I'm finished this because I've only got a wee bit to go, but I did say I was finishing at 5. Got stuff to do. I'm getting my grocery order at 8 o'clock tonight as well, which I am not one bit pleased about. I don't get grocery orders at night, I get them during the day, but because of all the stuff that was going on, I had to take an evening slot, which that's kind of like screwed up my routine as well. Don't like it. Don't like it. The worst of it is I'm getting another grocery delivery on Friday as well, but Friday's like Christmas food. This one that's coming tonight is just like my normal bits and pieces. Having a really hard job with this, see, because it's on that sort of, you know, that little peak next to the gutter where your pages come out. I think I'm gonna have to put a bit more work into this at a later stage to keep it tidy. Right, last wee bit just now. Let's get this done. Okay, there we go. Yes, I'll pull out, especially around the top of the lollipop, I'll pull that black out a bit more so that it matches the thickness of these other ones. But let's take a little step back. That's looking pretty cute. I'm really, really happy with that. Like, I'm really pleased with it. It's coming along very nicely indeed, and that's just something that's really nice for me to chip away at when I've got a bit more downtime. Once I've got all my ducks in a row, I'm planning on doing a fair bit of colouring, maybe some painting and playing some computer games, so this is going to slot into that nicely. Katara, my best friend. Hi Katara. My best friend nearly killed her husband with a huge book in her sleep, and when asked, she said she was trying to defend the kittens against the flat snake. That sounds like something that Mr. Jem would come out with. I love it. Green Hat's been back to the same place several times to the point where you know the way through the town. I have a recurring dream like that as well, and in my dream the place is always decorated for Christmas, which is weird but kind of cool. And I know where everything is and you know what's round the corner, and there's a door in a building that I can't get into and I've never been able to get into that door, and I've been having that dream for decades. Never found out what's behind the door. Ulrika's put a grocery order in for tomorrow full of easy to make food, tissues and lemons and an extra bottle of Alvis oil. Right guys, I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me this afternoon. Once again, you know, I've had such a busy day and this has just been a nice little bit of downtime before I have to start up on my task list again. So thank you very much. Thank you for your suggestions as well for the page, and thank you for the talking in the sleep chat. That's been a good one today. I've enjoyed that. I'm hoping that some of you will be able to come and join us on Sunday at some point, even if it's just for a little while. It is going to be a really, really long stream. I built a Lego set with a similar piece count and timed myself just to see how long it was going to take. And with distractions, it took me over 4.5 hours. We are starting at 3 in the afternoon. I think we will have a lot more interruptions in this live stream than me just sitting, you know, with a timer on and talking to people and all the rest of it. So if you've got time at some point on Sunday to pop in and show a bit of support for our charity stream, I would absolutely love that. Failing that, there will be festive videos next week during the week that you can sink your teeth into and hopefully get some enjoyment out of those. So I was just about to say, excuse me, other hands for the mods, but we're already there. Got you guys well trained. Thank you, Thea and Green Hat, for popping in. So good. I'm glad the stream cheered you up, Ulrika. That's nice. I'm glad that that's made a wee bit of a difference. All the other hands, oh hey, can I do other hands in here? I don't know if I said I've opened chat in OBS now. It's not actually in YouTube. Oh yeah, I can. Look, yay! Woo! Do the other hands too. Great stuff. Okay, guys, hopefully I'll see some of you on Sunday, so please enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, whatever it is you're doing. Ulrika, just keep cosy, keep on with the lemons and the albus oil, and I shall see some of you on Sunday. Take it easy, everyone. Bye for now.